Hello and welcome back to another Try and Fly in XP12. Try and Fly because we have another specifically made for XP12 version of an aircraft that I own already. It's the Aerobask DA-62, Diamond 62. It's free of charge, so when you own the XP11 version, just go to the store or wherever you got it from. We have traffic here. And get yourself the XP12 version. It's a separate zip file that you can download, and you can install that in your XP folder. The XP12 folder in this case. For those that don't have XP11, obviously you have to buy it and also get the XP12 version. So Aerobask is one of my preferred vendors when it comes to small airplane such as business jets and general aviation aircraft, propeller aircraft. Basically, you usually get really good quality from Aerobask. And they are also very good to update their products cost-free to XP12. Not sure if that's going to be for all aircraft in the future, but at the moment with these aircraft it is actually like that. So let's open some doors here. This is something that's I don't remember. Okay, you too. So this is something I don't remember for all aircraft in XP11. Very often you could not open the doors from outside. Here you can. Possibly something that XP12 introduced. I don't know. I might be imagining this, but yeah, so very nice aircraft, good modeling and all that. I'm not going to go into details here. For me, this is more like really testing it out and check. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, also the hardware. Yeah, so the hardware is in. We got about 50 frames, so it's about the maximum I can get in this current setup with an aircraft. So turned off, it's not using a lot of frames. We shall see what happens when we turn things on. But usually Aerobask is a good product. So let's switch also the view, and let's start with setting this up. And as usual, I found a relatively good checklist file here. For me, this is enough to really remember what it was all about, because I haven't been flying the DA-62 for a long time now. So the speed never exceed is 205 knots. The max structural cruising speed is 162, much above that, and you may actually lose parts. Who knows? So the max flap extend speed is 136 for takeoff and 119 for landing. So you really shouldn't bring out your flaps when you're much above that. The rotation speed is at 80 knots, best angle of climb at 83, best rate of climb at 87 knots. So we're climbing out in and around 80 to 87 knots. Then initial climb is on 83 knots, and climb cruise is minimum 93, but we're still climbing, so this is kind of a cruise with less vertical speed, I guess. And final landing speed is 89, so around 90 knots. I mean, we could do all the exterior stuff. Let's quickly check the ice fluid and all that is checked. Refuel. Yeah, well, actually, let's have a quick check here regarding the fuel. And we have half a tank. That's the default, which is fine. Total payload weight. Yeah, so we have about 516. Yeah, that's fine. I think we can leave it like that. De-ice fluid, refuel pilot and passengers, enter. If GPU needed, connect GPU. So, and that's now the part where I need to remember how you do this. Options. Yeah, there was a nice menu. I knew there was something like that. Let's put that up here. Okay, so let's balance the fuel. It is balanced. I'm doing the test flight on my own, so let's take out all the passengers and putting on the chocks. We open the back door and we connect the GPU. And as soon as we do that, things come to life, although I hadn't really turned on the batteries and avionics. Oh no, I was just giving a message. Alright. If need be, I can refill the oxygen bottle and the anti-ice fluid. I just do that now for good measures. And then we go to the options and let's see, disable pop-up on left click. Pop-up on left click. Yeah, disable pop-up. Oh, come on, boys. Enable reflections on windshield. Or we can leave it on for the moment. Enable instruments. Instruments are usually turned off because sometimes these effects can be detrimental to you being able to read it from the 3D cockpit kind of environment. Reliability is perfect. We're not going to change this for this flight. Actually, breakers, circuit breakers are in use here. G1000 shared option workaround for airbag, no panel views. Enable touchscreen features. FLC mode does not synchronize AP speed. Aha, flight level change mode does not synchronize AP speed. At the moment it does, so I'm not touching this. Keep aspect ratio of pop out. Yeah, good. I have the pop outs here. Keep entire pop up inside screen space. So that means these probably in here. Disable bezels of pop up. Oh, that's interesting. So when we press here, I can actually disable the bezel, which means so I can create displays that are entirely the screen and not the bezel around it. Interesting. Show ground speed next to task, show radar height. Okay, flight director cross pointer. Yeah, I actually like the cross pointers. Sky pointer instead of roll pointer. Synthetic vision is topology only, and terrain. We'll leave it for the moment as a default. Keep aspect ratio of pop up or pop out, same thing. And the MD302, that's I think that's these here. Keep aspect ratio. Okay. Sounds, we can put the master sounds. Let's see if my so my little script works also here on this aircraft, because I have a kind of noise cancelling headset function which just brings down the necessary volume settings so that it's not an explosion in my ear. But at least for the beginning, I like to have the full noise. If it gets too loud, I can turn it down. Yeah, so this is the version 12.0 release 1. So this is the very first for the beta version of X-Plane 12. And as such, it is also more like a beta here in this aircraft, which will follow the developments in X-Plane 12. We're going to see some more updates, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's quickly close those doors now. So we are doing Close, 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 close. It's also getting a bit less noisy here. Then let's check that we have the park brake is set. I'm removing the chocks. And that would mean that we are now ready to go here. Exterior light switches all off. Yeah, fuel pumps both off. Apparently they're not. That's probably also the noise we hear. Some of the noise. Engine master both off. Again. So. And the brake is pushed. That's a nice checklist. Seems to be quite comprehensive. All trims and elevators neutral. So whatever that means, let's see. Bring that into takeoff position. And the question is, where are aileron and rudder trim? Where do I find those? Not sure. Let's assume it's okay. Fuel selectors and controls full and free. Yes. Okay. Right, before start, fuel selectors both on and both security armed. That's down here. They're in the forward position. Electric master on. That's here. Instrument lights, we adjust them to whatever is needed. Flatten cabin lights, adjust. Gear fire button. Gear fire button. This is here. Test, fuel quantity, check we have half a tank, enough for what we are planning. Avionics master is off. Then we turn on the strobe lights, which is up here. That's instead of the beacon. Can we see those? It's hard to see them actually. Left engine master. Turn that on. Left start button push. No. We will not need to pump on. We're missing something. Oh, let me see. I have a suspicion. What? No. Let's go back here and check. Maybe we flooded the whole thing by having the pumps on before. Who knows? Interesting. We may have some problems with the fuel. Let's see. So. Okay, let's bring them up like this. Oh, and we do actually have the whole thing also like this. I forgot about that. Yep. Yeah, that's the rudder trim. It's 0. So what are we missing? What are we missing? Let's turn the alternators off for the moment. That's the ECU test, but for that we need running engines. What is this here, by the way? Oxygen. Ah, yeah, I think that's the oxygen. Now, that's not great. What the heck am I missing? Okay, let's turn the left engine master off again. Let's try the right one. Alright, now that's not a good start. Am I missing something? Have I forgotten something important? I mean, we... simultaneous, what's this? This is the auxiliary pumps. Let's try them. Hang on, engine master. Oh! Okie dokie. So I'm using there we go. Whatever the problem, I think we fixed it. I'm not sure I feel safe in this aircraft as it is now. Okay, Avionics master on. So we're going to see some... I'm actually surprised. I think I should have turned on also the display, so the checklist might not be comprehensive enough. I think there is a way to have basic displays, because we couldn't see anything. So, but at the moment we're looking fine. What happens when I turn off those pumps again? Nothing. Let's put this in here to prevent us from accidentally killing the engines. So position light on, transponder. So I still can't see the I do have displays outside the default, but I'm lacking the internal displays. So this is something not yet as it should be. So the Avionics master, electric master. So what you can see is this here. Okay, so this is the default, which always come up for me. This is also the default, but we see none of the specific parts. Oh yeah, alternators on. I turned them off before. Maybe that was... see if that makes a difference. Initializing system. Okay, it was the alternators missing. At least that's what it looks like. I mean, this is the XP12 version. I would have expected this to go a bit more smoothly. What the heck am I missing? So let's see. Aerobask switch avionics, yeah. I'm turning on the X-plane avionics just in case. That doesn't make any difference. So SimCockpit avionics, this is all on. There's no failure. Aerobask breaker avionics. So have we got maybe a breakup issue? So where are the breakers? So let's see. So this is if it would have been out. Fuel pumps, ECU bus. So all these fuses are in instrument lights, yeah. That's the AV-cont and that's the avionic bus. So 20 amp fuse. So in theory we do have avionics. Let's turn them off again and let's turn them on again. Maybe it needs some kind of a reset cycle, initializing systems. Hang on, instrument. No, no. Oh crap. Okay. I did not think of that immediately, but that's actually something. The instrument lights are linked to the brightness of the displays as well. Okay, we're back in business. Right then, transponder. Transponder. Yeah, we leave the code and the transponder we need to bring into standby mode. Cabin temperatures adjust. That is more on this side here, I think, somewhere. Is it? Where's the cabin temp? Oh, no, hang on. This could be up here. This is the light. My god, what's this battery of? Aux power, auxiliary power, okay. Interesting. That's the Diamond aircraft, that's the heating, but that's dead. Okay, well, it's nothing that we deal with. Cabin temperature adjust. Is there somewhere where we can adjust it? Well, you know what? Toss the cabin temperatures, it's not something we need now. The heading back, let's check that. Yep, we need to bring this to 7.2. Let's see if my hardware works, at least for this one here. CDI is on GPS, and talking about GPS, we now need to. Altimeter is okay. The MD3 is a flight plan, so now we need to get the flight plan entered. So let's do that. So this is a flight plan that I have. There's a flight plan. We need to kind of repair it because we do have an issue here. So let's go into the flight plan view. Let's enter this. We need to take out the EDDS from here because it really wants to go back to the airport. We don't want that. Clear, enter. And we also have this discontinuity, which is default here at FATA. We need to make sure when we get close to waypoint 2, we're going to either do a direct to FATA or use the heading mode to go there. So that's our flight plan. That's all we need. We are ready. Actually, the only thing we need to do still is I usually use this waypoint and give it a direct to so that we have a defined first waypoint the aircraft points to. So that's part ATC request taxi. So we are basically on. So taxi lights on. All trims and elevators check. Yep, we've done that before. And the park brake released. And now let's see how this thing taxis. Yeah, slight touch on the throttles will. This is actually quite docile here. Also the steering looks fine. There's no overreacting here, which is great. It's not like some other aircraft where you have to be really, really careful. So brakes test, yeah, let's do that. Left brake, right brake. Yeah, all very docile, that's good. There's no overreaction. Turn indicator, we've checked, it has been turning. So we're going to take the next turn to the left. I have updated the NVIDIA driver in the hope that we would see less flicker. Unfortunately, nope. The flicker is still there. Oh yeah, it's actually very good to... No overreacting, I like that. I like that. Now let's go to the holding point here. And stop the aircraft, yeah. Park brake. Then we need to... up here. We need to switch the system mode to... So there's the engine mode. That you can switch between EIS engine. Okay, pitot heat. Yeah, okay, hang on, this is a bit awkward here. So the pitot heat, where is the pitot heat? Pitot heat on. Check amps in cruise. That's why we need the system stuff. The amps, do we see them here? There's the amps, and now I'm turning the pitot heat off again, and yeah, we went down a little bit. Okay. The alternators both off. I wonder what happens then. Yeah, and it's blinking, obviously. But nothing happens, so the engines still run. Fuel selectors both crossfeed. The fuel selectors both crossfeed. What was that? Fuel selectors both crossfeed. Check fuel flow. No. That's defrost cabin heating. And crossfeed. We need to bring them into the that's why you need to have the block, otherwise your engines will go off. Both crossfeed, check fuel, no drop. Fuel flow, no drop. What was the fuel flow? 19 and main 19. Oh, that's the tank. Okay. Where's the fuel flow here? Load, RPM, oil bar, oil. Here's the RPM, fuel flow 1.0. And then we bring this up again, and fuel flow is still 1.0. Switch MFD to normal. Okay. Next, power levers, both idle. Oh yeah, I wasn't on idle. Left ECU full test, press and hold. That's this one here. Right ECU, press and hold. Don't know why it says right hand ECU A fail, B fail. Okay, and then it goes away. I think that's that test, the ICE test, switch annunciator test. You know what, guys? Let's stop that. Lower flaps full down. Check flaps and light. Should it not show us something here on the lights? Raise flaps. Yeah, something changes, but it doesn't appear as if it's bright. Oh well. All engine parameters, let's see, they look normal. Okay, so we are in the green everywhere. For some reason our tanks are... would that not... we do have a imbalance here. That's interesting. Let me check that in the ground options. Balance fuel. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that has fixed it. Not sure where that imbalance came from. I thought we had done this before. All engine parameters. So, now, before takeoff, all doors closed, fuel selector both on, pitot heat, as required. For good measures, let's turn it on. Transponder, although we are not below 5 degrees or so, let's turn it off. Transponder set to Alt. Flight director on. Where do I do that? Flight director, that's here, I guess. No, that's PA. Auxiliary. So where is all that? Here. Flight director on. Breakers all pushed in. ATC request. Park brakes released. Go to lineup and set park brakes again. Alright then. Yeah, and you can see the really awful anti-aliasing here. I had really hoped that with a new NVIDIA driver that'll be fixed. I did a full install, sort of a clean install of the driver. But unfortunately, this is something in XP12 which Lamina needs to fix eventually. Alright, taxi light off, landing lights on. The heading back is set correctly for takeoff. Also, the nav is set. Okay, let's quickly stop here. Parking brake on. So they're heading back, aligned to runway. Yeah. Fuel pumps, both on. So we need them now. Flaps set for takeoff. That's the first position. Rudder trim set, which is naja, it's okay. Elevator trim. Oh no, rudder trim is 0. Yeah. I don't know what I should set there. Elevator trim set to takeoff. Ah well. Controls move in full free. We've done that before. Autopilot and SID are okay, I think. Clock, note the time. Yeah. Park brakes, release. Power increased to 90 to 95%. I'm actually going to bring out the windows now, because the windows that I have outside are X-plane. So I'll put them outside for me. And the same for this one here. Yep, that gives me a better view here. And I'm also going to bring out littlenavmap. I haven't started that yet. That helps us also to have a better situational awareness. So let me show you. There's better, yeah. Is there? What about the Garmin 1000? Nope, this isn't set up properly, so I need to do that before we can continue. Right then, power increased to 95%, so parking brake is off. So I'm putting now the load on 95%. And in and around 76 indicated we are carefully rotating. 76 is now, so I'm rotating now. Wow. Yep, positive rate. I'm bringing up the gears. Power less than 96. Yeah, we are on less than 96% power. I apply the brakes, the landing gear is up. Now I can turn off both fuel pumps in the middle of the flight. Yeah, that's I think we're still, let's try and get into the range of the flight director. Now I'm turning on the autopilot. Don't know, did I not? Yes, autopilot is on. I'm using nav mode. And I'm using altitude mode. We want to go up to 4,000. 4,000, so I'm using what am I using? Let's use vertical speed. And kind of climb with about 500 to 600 feet. We can now turn off the landing lights. Flaps up, check. Passing 90. We are, yeah, we should have brought them in actually a bit earlier. Yaw damper is on. So we're now in vertical speed mode. We are following GPS. Climb power set 90 to 95. We are on 94. G1000 altimeter. Yeah, that's okay. Oxygen, PSI, verified pressure. Oxygen handle pulled. I don't think we need oxygen because we are going to stay way below 10,000. Annunciators, engine parameters and breakers. Check. So there don't seem to be annunciators, at least not that I see them, so we're fine. So that's the climb. And we need to wait that we reach 4,000, which is our cruise for this flight. And you can see it's nicely following the route here. So this is all very, very nicely done. I mean, Aerobask, yeah. There are hardly any surprises with these guys. Not like other aircraft I've already tested. Max altitude, flight level 200. Now we're not even getting close to that. High speed cruise 87%, normal speed cruise 75%. So normal speed I would say, so as soon as we've reached 4,000 I'm going to reduce power to 75%. Let's synchronize the heading here. This might actually be a function on the PFD, yeah. What happened here? What did you do? Okay. So we have reached 4,000. I'm reducing now to 75%. Uh-oh. I've switched again. What is happening here? Why does that happen? I have a new version of OBS, and since then there are some weird things and some good things happening. This was one of the weird things, and the good thing is it seems to be a bit better on rendering for Twitch, as I was told. Okie dokie. So let's see if you can see the Garmin. Yep, there's the Garmin. So we can now do this. So I'm 75%, about 150 knots on the speed, which is fine. Oxygen handle pulled. Yeah, we don't need that. Annunciators, fine. And then fuel pumps. If fuel low, both on. Okay, we don't have low fuel, so we can leave this. And well, for the descent power adjust. Depends a little bit. So if the OAT would be below 10 degrees, which it isn't, then we would need pitot heat, which we have actually on. No, we have it off, yeah. No, that's okay. Alternate air open in raining or snowing conditions. We have none of that. Descent power adjust, so we would then reduce the power. We're not really having a descent phase here because we're more or less directly heading towards the ILS approach. Let's quickly check that the ILS frequency is correct, 109.5. Yep. So the QNH is set, so that's all in order. So for the descent, that's no problem. And then comes the approach. Approach, we are going to fly with 120 knots indicated, flaps up. Gear fire, test button, push and test. Yeah. Park brakes, release. Yeah, we need to make sure that park brakes are not set. Fuel selectors, both on. Landing lights on. Fuel pumps, both on. Breakers, all pushed in. Annunciate the engine parameter. Okay, yeah, fine. We just have passed the airport over there. Let's synchronize the heading again. All the engine parameters are where they should be. It's all in green. The RPM is just below the yellow, so it's still okay. We are now on 75% load. But this is all controlled by the automatic systems in this aircraft. I only have the thrust levers and I kind of adjust the power based on the load indicator up there. So, yeah. So we're approaching WP2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just make sure that we do, what is this? Interesting. Heading is correct, so I'm now switching, I use the hardware for that. I'm switching into heading mode, all right? Because I won't be using nav mode for the moment. I'm using heading mode. And the other thing I'm going to do is switch the CDI to the localizer. Make sure that the course is 072. It is. I think we already have reception, 109.5. India Sierra Tango Echo. That is correct. That's what it should be. And as soon as we reached waypoint 2, by the way, I can put in the inset map. So as soon as we reach waypoint 2, I'm going to change the heading to 90 degrees. So 340 or so. We're correctly on 4,000 feet. Heading towards FATA, which is the initial approach fix for an ILS approach. So let me turn on the landing lights already and park brakes, just make sure that we have got them released. Yes, landing lights on, fuel pumps both on. The breakers are all pushed in, yeah, that's fine. And next is then the landing phase. So when we move towards full flaps, we're talking 82 knots and alternate air close. Yaw damper off, yeah, that's too, not yet. We are almost at FATA. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the heading to roughly 45 degrees to the right so that we don't do a 90 degrees turn onto the ILS. And I am going to activate also the approach mode, which should now be armed. Localizer armed, glide slope armed. Localizer is captured. Glide slope will follow suit. Now it is captured. And I'm now going to take back on the power because we have started to descend. Heading. So. So we need to really get down with the speed now. I'm pulling back on the levers. The automatic systems make sure that we don't fouling anything. And we can see now that the speed comes down, so definitely we need to be below the 120, so where the white area starts. That's the earliest where we can extend flaps. Or a little winch here. So we've reached 120. I'm applying first stage of flaps. Given a bit more power. So I'm extending the gear. So we're going to lose more speed now. Heading towards 80 knots. You see also a red marker there on the 80 knots. So below 119, that's where we are, full flaps. There are only two positions on the flap lever. And now I'm going to keep it on 82 knots or so. Alright, let's turn the yaw damper off. So going slightly below 80. Just we're fine with the speed, I think, but the red is actually where it's getting dangerous.
500.
500 check. So now let's see how this aircraft flies manually. Autopilot is off. First thing I realized, we're not jerking in immediately into some direction. It's only a slight, very slight deviation. I'm giving a bit of flaps here. Stay on the 82 speed. Everything seems very fine, so I don't need to be overly careful when I move the aileron. That's just good. It's much more controllable like this. I think we're a little bit too high. I'm taking a bit of power away. So
300.
Now we are again. Too white, too red. So far, so good. From here, I wouldn't take too much on the red lights, as long as you can see the runway. And so I'm taking away the power. And oh, look at that. No big jump. I have a feeling that the default aircraft, no matter what you do with the elevator, the front gear just comes slamming down immediately. As if it seems, the whole thing seems to lose the vertical moment immediately. This one I actually kept up, and only when I pushed slightly forward, I did that a little bit too fast. I think we could have prolonged this phase. Yeah, okay, I mean the brakes, differential braking is difficult in X-plane, but it's much less rugged than with the default aircraft, where things are really getting out of control if you're not careful. Very, very nice. Haha, like it. So. Okay. Flaps full up, fuel pumps off, both. Set the parking brakes. Now clear runway, clock, strobe lights off, landing lights off, taxi lights on, transponder standby, all trims neutral, that is neutral, and on we go to our GA area. Really, really nice. Can't complain here. Do give it a bit of power so that it moves. You can see a little stutter. It's a 1 second stutter. Duck, duck, duck. Yeah. Also the shadows kind of alternate in a second intervals. And there's a lot of flickering here due to almost non-existing, or there is anti-aliasing, but it's so weak that you still get a lot of this moire pattern thingy and so on. So really a pity, but it will get better. I'm pretty sure eventually there will be changes that improve on this. I think I know what happened with the OBS. Actually, I have this touchpad, which is a bit like Stream Deck, but on an old iPad. And the mouse cable came on the the mouse cable hit the button that brings up the other view. Oh, right. I need to do something about that. Need to get the mouse cable away from that. I was wondering because it was really strange. So let's go in here. So it's also good that we leave some time for the engines to cool down. Normally you shouldn't immediately turn off the engines. They all need a little bit of time to cool down. And here we are. Very nice. Parking brake set. Now to the shutdown. We leave the frequency power set 1 minute, set to 10%. Well, basically we have done that. Flight plan, delete the flight plan. Okay, no problem. Menu. Delete the flight plan. Okay. Avionics master off. Engine master both off. Clock, note the time. Fuel selectors, security, both unsecure. And then we bring the fuel into the shut-off position. Then exterior light switches all off. Alternators both off. Most of the stuff is already. Instrument lights dim. Yeah. Yep. Next time we know. Have we done it now? Dim? Yeah. Electric master off. MD302. Push knob to turn off. Whoops. Alright. Doors open. Oh yeah, really? You need to open the doors to get out? I wouldn't have thought that. Pilot and passengers leave the cabin. So out with you. Wheel chocks set. For that we need to go in here. We need to install the chocks, de-ice fluid, oxygen refill, all door closed. Now we haven't used oxygen, we haven't used, so we can easily go out. Let's open this door as well. There's still a passenger in there. I thought I didn't take a passenger. Where do you come from? Have you sneaked in without me noticing? So the Aerobask DA-62, very quick test flight, the usual Try&Fly. Try&Fly it is when it's a native XP12 aircraft. Test it is when I test an XP11 aircraft, an old aircraft, see if it works at all. And as we've seen, some do, some don't. Some do kind of work, but with limitations. But this here is a native XP12 now. And yeah, looking good. There was nothing that the aircraft did, any kind of strange things were, to me, were my fault. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time.